Alrighty guys, g'day. Good to see a few more up and about early, thank you. Welcome. As always guys, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. Welcome to another session. Yeah, we'll see what we've got moving forward today. Obviously, bank holidays to come over the next few trading days, tomorrow and Monday, for the majority anyway. Funnily enough, it's not actually a bank holiday in the US tomorrow, which I found quite surprising, to be honest. However, it obviously is for around Europe, around the UK, obviously over my neck of the woods here in Australia, New Zealand. So I'm not expecting a great deal of volume today, to be honest, during the London session, possibly towards NY. Obviously we've got some high impact news to come with GDP, which will have a big impact on obviously USD pairs and gold. So if anyone is trading into NY session, you need to be wary of that. GJ just breaking just now, not in any GJ trade, not interested in taking that entry. Explain why shortly, but good to have you all on board. I will, hold on, let me remove that trade taken. Quickly get rid of that so no one comes on board and have you already taken a trade. I have, but not on stream. That was earlier during the Asian session, which I will cover a little bit later on. Just want to try something out, guys. I have tried to attach the Nightbot to the stream. I'm not sure if it's working, to be honest. I have no idea, but we'll soon find out. So it is fantastic. There you go. I'm not as shit as what I thought I was with the tech, so a little bit more tech savvy than I initially thought. But anyway guys, so enough of that. Without further ado, let's take a look at what we've got moving forward here today. As always, I will start with the GJ, and then we'll move on to gold and any other pair, or GU, NAS eventually, and any other pair that you guys are interested in me taking a look at for you. So let's take a look, guys, starting with GJ. So as always, I'll start on the weekly time frame, and here we go. So on the weekly, obviously we are forming a bullish candle, currently pulling back though within the current daily candle. So I mean, not a great deal of volume in all honesty compared to obviously the previous weekly candle, but we are forming bullish. I call it a weak bullish candle. It would still not surprise me if eventually price does begin to pull back to retest and potentially break its own low. Obviously there was some news that came out yesterday on the yen from Japan, Bank of Japan, which did have an effect on obviously all the yen pairs. I think it was breaking news. I don't think it was scheduled, although I didn't see it anyway on Forex Factory or any other news provider. So looking at the daily, structure wise, we remain bullish. Not much has changed. Very awkward when you see a wick like that. I mean, it's a little bit off-putting, but what we do have is, anyway, so we did close back bearish, lower high, lower low. Current candle has created its lower wick. We've obviously formed resistance on the minor time frame, the M30 time frame, at the current daily candle's high, and we are forming bearish. So I'm just going to mark in the current daily candle's high. Could have some potential buy options above it. I'm also going to mark in the current daily candle's low and just see what we've got below that level just there. Onto the 4-hour time frame, and once again we still remain bullish in the 4-hour. Nothing will change for quite some time. Still consolidating, stuck in this choppy range we've been stuck in basically pretty much since all week actually. Very little direction, but what we do have is that previous candle closing back a doji candle at resistance. Current candle lower high, lower low suggests that we could potentially continue to the downside. Based off the 4-hour, there's likely going to be support in the minor time frame within this wick. Obviously, being the low of the day, there will be support on the M30 at that point there. But based off the 4-hour time frame, there is scope for price to eventually perhaps come down towards that 190.70 sort of level. So we are technically bullish in structure, but with counter probabilities to the downside, just stuck in the same area of consolidation that we've been stuck in all week. I'm just going to mark in for the time being. I'll just use that most immediate support resistance. I'm actually going to use the high, and again, once again, I will adjust that if I need to do so once I go down to the M30. All right, so onto the M30. Actually, back to the 4-hour. I've got to mark in resistance at this point here as well. At the most current resistance, obviously, and I'll move now onto the M30 time frame, and I'm actually just going to leave that zone in. I think it's quite relevant at 4-hour level. We to the downside, freaking one really. I mean, you could adjust this all the way down to the upside. Just clean this up a little bit. I'll just use that. All right, approaching a support. Is it a 4-hour support? Let me quickly look. No, it's not. So we are approaching current daily candles low. Obviously, we're just tapped in. When you to look at it on a 1 day, it's actually got a big wick down at, which was just after the Asian session open. Actually, around the stock exchange open, I think. Okay, stock exchange open, or approximately half an hour or so after the Asian session open. It's not obviously there on Forex.com, so it's a bit of a strange one. All right, so the M30 structure, anyway, we are technically still bearish. We still remain bearish from this one big move from last week. So we are obviously, so within the current daily candle, we've created the high. At that high, we have formed resistance. Like I mentioned before, if we are to respect the resistance form, the current daily candle high, then it's likely we'll continue to the downside. However, seeing we have created that upper wick, we have formed support, we've pulled back up to create the upper wick. At this point, we really have no need to pull back up and break our own current daily candles high. If we do so, what we can see is we've got some relatively clean traffic over here to the left hand side. So therefore, if we begin to break the current daily candles high, I will look for my potential buy options upon continuation. Now, further buy options, obviously, I'm just going to trade the range, guys, seeing we're stuck in this range. What I would prefer to see is for price to come back down to that 4-hour zone, but we don't necessarily need to do so. We've bounced off it a few times. We have formed support in the current daily candle, obviously at the low. So if we do pull back towards the current daily candle's low and respect that level, look for my catalyst to potentially buy it back up towards the current daily candle's high. So buys above the current daily candle's low or at the support formed at the current daily candle's low would definitely also be an option I would be considering. Now as for sells, look, it just depends where we are at the open, I suppose, because right now this wick is extremely off-putting as well, because what that does is basically eat into your margin. If you were to look for a sell below it, it is a bullish candle. So to me, that is a candle that forms support. I would not really feel comfortable in selling it into that wick, that candle. So therefore I need to wait for price to pop below it. The issue is below it, you've only got very minimal margin. And if you're looking for your 10 pips in about a 12-13 pip range, it's not the easiest thing to do. I'd rather wait for price to pull back up, to once again retest the current daily candle's high, begin to reject, and potentially look to sell it back down towards the current daily candle's low. So for the sells at this stage, that is probably my best option. As far as sells upon continuation below the current daily candle's low, I'm not interested at all, because we're selling it into support, selling into not only any support, it's the 4-hour lows, the range of the 4-hour, the lows of the range of the 4-hour, also to the left hand side. We can see here it's a very strong level of support, so definitely not keen on selling it into that level. As far as price action wise, I mean, if this flips, it'd be probably the worst option to buy it, but I'm not quite prepared to take that entry. So I'm just going to simply wait for either the buys from back and around that support or sells at the resistance. Otherwise, buys above the current daily candle's high. And that is simply what I'll be looking at moving forward today on GJ, guys. So hopefully that makes sense. And I will move on to take a look at the gold, which was quite nice to me today. Exact same entry, guys. Exact same entry is what I took on stream yesterday. Today on gold, I'll go through it in a moment. So I will delete and reanalyze. All right, so let's start again on gold. Looking at the weekly as always. And the current weekly candle is forming a strong bullish candle. Obviously, we have pulled up significantly into the wick of that candle from last week. So when I see a candle forming as is, then what this suggests to me is likely any pullback is to be met, likely in a minor time frame, be met by support. So when I go down to the minor time frames, that being the preferably, well, more so the 30-minute, also the 4-hour, but more so the 30-minute, I can look to the left to see where we could potentially form a support before we head back up to retest the current weekly candle's high and potentially continue to the upside to create a higher high within the current weekly candle. All right, we've got daily is also technically bullish, and as we can see, strong bullish closure on the previous. Current candle has pulled back quite significantly into that previous candle. Let's mark in the fib. You guys know what I'm looking at. It's pulled back towards the 50 and it's formed support that level. So that could have been some good options to actually buy it from those lows. So we have high, low, higher high forming in the current daily candle. Gonna mark in the high of it to see what we've got above it. Obviously we've got this wick rejection to the left hand side, so we're out of resistance on the daily, but the catalyst and a confirmation for me to give me the confidence that we could potentially continue to the upside is the fact that we had that strong bullish candle closure on that previous daily candle above the bodies of the candles here to the left hand side. So that to me is quite a strong catalyst to suggest we could continue to the upside. Now onto the 4-hour. Again, structure wise, we remain bullish. We've got nice little engulfing candle on a previous current candle. Not a great deal of volume just yet, but as you can see, we've created the high for today. At that level, you have to look to the left hand side on the M30. I'm pretty sure that's a resistance, and we've just tapped into that, and we are so far respecting and rejecting It's also tapping into this previous support here to the left on the 4 hour. So the reason as to why we keep rejecting is it's probably because we've got a build up of liquidity at that point there, looking to sell back down. So for me, technically bullish on the 4 hour at a level of resistance. But what I'm going to do is mark in this level at the highs just now. Gonna mark that in. I will definitely be marking a zone though once I go down to the M30 at current level, and I will actually keep it in as a significant zone, gray zone. All right, so obviously I'm just going to use that, guys, because that will, if you was to drag that across, that lines up with all this support further to the left hand side. So I think it's a pretty important zone that we're currently rejecting. Onto the M30 time frame, still yet to create that higher high. We're still bullish anyway, sorry, from this one impulse to the upside. So it's still bullish across the board. Therefore, would probably prefer to buy it. However, having said that, we are at a resistance, and it's a strong level of resistance. What I had marked in earlier today was I actually had it a bit lower down. I took a sell option. Well, sorry, where was it? Around here. I actually had this zone a little bit lower down. I took a sell. As this candle opened up, it literally did the exact same thing as GJ did at a time of volume. It popped straight up. I sold it right near the high, pulled back down. Actually got to about 20 pips. I closed the full thing at 15, and it popped about. Eventually it's come back up, but it was a nice solid win. Again, very little drawdown. I think I had like 1 pip or something, not even. So that was a nice trade on gold for today. This is what I'm gonna do for the zone. And connected to the body, that's what I initially had. That's right. It's connected to the body of the bearish candle, which obviously forms resistance. And that is my zone. All right, so we're now right near the top of the resistance. So for me, moving forward on gold today, once again, bias is bullish across the board. However, seeing where we're currently at, we're at a level of liquidity. I would still consider selling it from these highs. What we've done is we've formed support at resistance. So I feel if we begin to pop back below this range, the 4 hour range, back below at 21.94.80 roughly, I would entertain my sell options. So I want it to pull back down, back into that range below, and I will consider a sell at that point. Now for the buys, obviously buys from lower down, if it does just begin to melt and we don't get any sort of opportunity to look for a sell in the meantime, definitely going to be looking for the buys lower down. If we respect the current daily candles low, the support formed at the current daily candles low, and we should continue to the upside. We have no need to break it if we are to continue to the upside. Therefore, if we begin to break it, really, if you drag this support down a little bit to that 21.85.50, and we start to close below that level there, then I feel sell options will definitely be on the table at that point there, and targeting back at the lows of the 4 hour range, back around that 21.750 sort of level. As far as buys above the highs, it does make sense upon continuation. However, we continue to reject this very key level on the 4 hour time frame. So therefore, I would like a strong catalyst, because to me, as far as price action, the way that the previous few candles have closed with long wicks to the downside, and now we are pulling back yet again, really probably should have made the move by now, in my opinion. So a little bit difficult to trust it just now. I mean, we'll see where we're at close to the open. If we are continuing to reject this gray zone, closing as pretty much the same as the previous candles, then likely what we're doing is grabbing liquidity at this 4 hour resistance, and eventually we could spike back up. So could look for potential buy options once we begin to pop above the resistance, preferably close above. And at this stage, I'd probably look for the buys above the current daily candles high. I'm just going to put buys above that 21.99. I'd like to see a strong closure above it. And that's about it, guys. So hopefully it makes sense. Once again, I've got issues on my end with the stream. It keeps saying I'm not live. I have no idea why. But nonetheless, good morning. Good morning to you, Mr. Tony Lyons. Hope you're well. Franco, as always, my friend. Good to have you on stream. Ian as well, and Steve. All right. So the focus at this stage, probably gold. But obviously not really ready to trade either at the moment. I don't think any of them look crash altcoins, to be honest, either gold or GJ. How long we got? So yeah, we've still got 50 minutes until the open. 20 minutes left of this M30 candle. So in the meantime, I will take a look at the GU and do some analysis on GU moving forward. All right, so I'll just remove these drawings. I'll take a look at GU. All right, so once again, starting at the weekly, we can look at the monthly as well. I think I've flipped over to it. Wow, awkward candle. So it's actually flipped bearish, high, low, high, high to the previous. That a previous level of support here to the left, rejecting that resistance. So looks likely to potentially will close back bearish and do so, and then obviously the new candle may pull up, create upper wick, and eventually begin to break and continue to the downside. But anyway, that's the monthly. We're not too concerned. Well, we're not really concerned by it at all. On to the weekly time frame. So the current candle itself still forming bullish. It's at a strong level of support. It will not surprise me if we do begin to break our own low, that we do come down a little bit further. Issue is, well, obviously, yet again, we're at a very strong level of support. So where it bounces, and if it does bounce, I mean, at this stage, it could do so. But again, doesn't mean it has to. It could continue also to the downside. Looking at daily, structure-wise, still remains bullish. And it's just hovering at that support once again. Yesterday's candle closed a bullish candle for long wick to the downside. So really, when I see that, I would not really expect much of a low wick to form on the current daily candle, which it has done so. So now seeing it has done that, then again, pullbacks likely going to be met by resistance on the moment time frame to continue to the downside. Just consolidating that support, very little direction on the high time frames. The 4 hour quite evident as well, technically bearish, but it is just stuck in a very nasty range on the 4 hour. Just going to mark in the most recent support and most recent resistance. I know we've got levels either side of it. I want to try to make that a little bit deeper. I'll see what I can do on the M30. All right, so it's still relevant there on the 4 hour. The M30, I'm going to use that for the time being. All right, so below we've got support. It's really at a nasty level. What I'd rather just do if I were to trade GU today, irrespective of bias, irrespective of structure, irrespective of how the weekly and daily candles are forming, I just trade at range bound, because simply that's all it's doing. It's just trading within the range, and you're closer to the lows, so I'd be looking for buys. Very simple. Moving forward into London session or towards the open or into the open, that's what I'd be looking for. Just bounce off support, looking for my confirmations to potentially take a buy on GU from down the lows. Nothing else really, I feel at this stage makes much sense other than buying it from support. Reason being is, why would you bother selling it into the support unless you're already in some sells from higher up? So having said that, obviously I'd be looking to sell below resistance. What would make sense for further buy options would be upon continuation above the current daily candle's high. Seeing the current daily has obviously created a low, a high, create resistance at the high, and drag that up now. if we are to continue bearish, we should not break our own daily candles high. At that point there, we're going to break the previous daily candles high, which was once again a liquidity grab candle, and we are likely to continue to the upside. However, it is very choppy to the left. We run straight into another resistance. But would I consider buying it? Perhaps. Just depends what time it happens. If it comes close to or around maybe NY session, because it's not likely to happen during London session at this rate, I may consider it. But I just trade it range bound if it were me trading GU, and that's GU. Well, check. I'm just gonna type in a few things, commands into the chat, just to see if the Nightbot is actually working and paying attention. I don't think it is. Well, there it is. Actually, it is. Fantastic. All right. So in the meantime, what's GJ? All right. So there's nothing in gold on GJ. I'm gonna take a look at NAS. I'll do some analysis moving forward on NAS. So I do have some ladies and gents that I coach that do trade it, so I will do the analysis on it. All right. Starting the weekly time frame yet again, and we are forming a weak bearish candle. Still have that higher low. Not a great deal of volume, obviously, within the current weekly candle. That could be due to that. Well, last week we had news after news after news, red follow news, day after day, basically. So it's cooled down a little bit this week. We do have obviously high impact news to come later on into NY session. Would not surprise me if eventually this candle does flip back bullish. Doesn't necessarily have to do so though, but would obviously not a great deal of volume within the current weekly candle. Bullish on the daily. Previous daily closed bullish, but with no real counter probabilities because we closed with a lower high, lower low to the previous. Absolutely no volume whatsoever within the current daily candle. I'm not going to really bother marking highs and lows just yet. We are technically bullish on the daily time frame at a high at the resistance. Now the 4 hour is also still bullish. We still remain bullish on the 4 hour. Again, it's just nasty consolidation. What we are doing is though, albeit it's not really any sustained sort of move, but we are forming lower highs, lower lows within the micro trend, which does suggest that we could pull back further. However, it is bullish in structure. That could be the reason as to why it's not really making much of a move back down, and eventually if it starts to flip the micro trend bullish, it could begin to create another nice impulsive leg, as similar to what it did over here to the left, once again to the upside. So we are technically bullish in a heavy area consolidation, marking that resistance as far as support. I mean, we've got support right now. Have to adjust that in the M30. I'll have to adjust that so in the M30 as well, likely. All right. I'll just do that. All right, so 30-minute is technically bearish as well. So the bias is neutral. All right, what we've done within the current daily candle, obviously we've created a high. That was actually yesterday's closure. But what we've done was at the open on this particular provider, Blackpool, once again, I'll have to change it over, guys, probably next week if I remember. At that lower form support, we're just consolidating. So if we do begin to break support, then we do have a clean counter left hand side. There's high probability at that point there that price will continue to the downside. Once again, I just will not be trading it during London session. I'd rather wait for it to come pre-MY or into MY session if it does not break in the meantime. I'll be looking for sales below. Now, as far as buy options, well, actually further sales, obviously if it does pull back up and retest this 4 hour resistance, it could pull back and retest towards the highs. That's fine. I'd just be looking for my catalyst win price action, a little bit of structure to form back at the highs to potentially sell from within this gray zone. What you could really do though, if you really want to, because you could potentially look for buys as well, I'm probably just going to need an Isona, do something like so, and say in between that 1830 and 18350. Pretty clean traffic on the M30. I know it's a 4 hour zone, but if we, again, now we've created a high, create a higher low. If we begin to break above and create a higher high within the M30 micro trend, not flipping the structure just yet, but the daily will be breaking its own high, tap into that zone and begin to break away from the 1830. Could have some potential buy options to take it back up. So I'm just going to mark in buys above and sells below this resistance. And that would be, that's my opinion of NAS. Definitely makes sense. I gotta change the commands though. I really gotta change the commands, otherwise these the Nightbot is never gonna appear in the chat. I have no idea. I was just testing it out to make sure it worked. You can only actually test it out in the live stream. I did a Phantom stream earlier and it wasn't working, and then I realized, and then I read the frequently asked questions page and it said you can only test it on a live public stream. Alright, so GJ, nothing really right now. Keep an eye on gold and I'll keep GJ open on my MetaTrader. How did we go yesterday, guys? Anyone take any trades, or how's the week been? I can send a Zoom link, by the way. I'll set that up just now. I also had to cut back on the tunes, guys. I did get copyright strikes appear for the last 3 streams, so I hope it's not. This is a 1 hour background music playlist. Hopefully it's not this. Sorry, I was setting up that Zoom link, wasn't I? I'm just gonna pop into the YouTube chat again, guys. I trust you guys. If anyone jumps on who I don't know, it's fine, you're welcome. We're all friends. Yeah, so that trade today worked really well. I'll just highlight it and I'll show you exactly on the 5 minute, the 1 minute even. So there it is there. Go down to the 5 minute, that's the actual candle itself. 1:30 PM candle my time. And it literally just popped straight up, straight down, and then straight back up not too long after. So it was a relatively nice move once again to get involved in. Let me find it just here. So yeah, very similar to yesterday's. Wow, how's that rejection on gold? Alright, so how's the 4 hour forming? 4 hours now flip back bearish. Daily is also flip back bearish. Does have a high low, high high to the previous low. Issue for me, if I was to look for a sell on gold just now, would be obviously, I mean, you guys probably know, gonna be a huge stop loss. A huge stop loss. I'm not really comfortable having a 50 pip stop loss. I mean, if it drops, it would be around that. It's about 45 as is right now. About a 43.5 pip candle, and obviously leaving maybe a 2 pip margin to account for spread. You're looking at about 45, 46 pip stop loss. And it's at the support, so it really needs to be closed below it. So perhaps if we do get the closure below the M30, and it's gonna be tough because of the stop loss, what I may wait for, look to entertain a potential option, would be perhaps on the first 15-minute candle, the new candle. So first of all, I want this candle to close relatively strong. I want it to close well below, once again, because it's not only below the resistance, it's back below this support also at the same time. So that's what I want to see, something like that. Now, if the new 30-minute candle, the first 15 minutes of it, closes like so, rejecting that resistance, remaining below the support, remaining below the 4-hour resistance, then I would at that point there look to potentially take a sell on the second 15-minute candle of the new M30 as price begins to break the minor support. That's what I'd be looking at if I was to look for a sell option, because at that point there I can also get a tighter stop loss, and it'd be ways to manage it as well based off the entry candle. So potentially that's what I could be looking for, but again, 3 minutes remaining. This candle needs excuse me, needs to close below that previous resistance. What's the plans for Easter, guys, for those of you who are celebrating? We have a barbecue here tomorrow on Good Friday. Oh, you're not supposed to eat meat, but who cares, really? Alright, so first step, first catalyst. Looks like it could be playing out. Remove that. Tony Lights, Easter barbecue sounds like a dream. We have a little snow on the ground. Ooh, that's nasty. That's not good. Yeah, it's I think it's quite mild tomorrow. Low 20s. Hopefully it's not going to rain though. No idea. Really, you can't go off the forecast here in Melbourne because it's usually not correct. So we got the closure below, which is good. So now I want to see an actual 15-minute minor support form. If I was to look for any limit order, it would only be in that pause candle, but it's not even valid, to be honest. Because that's not a pause, that's just like the high of the move to the upside. So the pause would be somewhere lower down. The pause might be a 15-minute pause if it does happen, which doesn't look like it will happen just now. But it could. Gold's playing funny buggers. Wow. Hopping up and down. Skipping 10 pips. It's interesting. I wonder if there's something going on in the news. I was watching this yesterday and kept refreshing it to see what was going on, because especially the end pairs were going crazy. It took about 5-10 minutes for it to actually come out in Forex factory. Yeah, so this is a difficult one. The sells do make sense. It's just a matter of the stop loss, unless you were to trust the high of the candle itself, the entry candle, which would not have been really much of a stop loss. In gold, it would have been less than, it would have been about 7-8 pips. Not great. But as anticipated, or as per the analysis, if it closed back below that range, I felt it's likely to continue down. So it's made the move. Can't be north, but that's all good. Anyone in a sell or anyone in any trade right now? Yeah, so you'll probably be approaching 10. Wow, quick move too. It's a pity, very difficult to get a decent stop loss placement. But again, nonetheless, good to see the analysis was correct. Cardi, good morning to you, my friend. Hope you're well. Some of you may have noticed in the title that this is giveaway. I mean, once we get a few more on the stream, I don't mean today, I mean moving forward, I'll start doing some giveaways. I'll do obviously a course giveaway, maybe a few session giveaways. Yeah, see how we go. Oh, mate. I think the last time I spoke to you, your wife hadn't given birth just yet. Is that correct? So, congratulations. Congratulations. I'm pretty sure you weren't yet a father at that point. So, fantastic, my friend. Yeah, glad to hear it. Boy or girl? Boy or girl? I appreciate it. Like in the Feb, yeah. So yeah, I was right, girl. Beautiful, mate. Little princess. Enjoy. Just wait till she's old enough to start running around and answering back. Then you're gonna have issues. But yeah, no, it is. It's a really good time. Enjoy every minute. Yeah. Yeah, I remember my boy the first year. He was so cute, so sweet, but he just did not sleep at nighttime. It was an absolute, like, it was terrible. And it was like he knew it. He was making things difficult. He'd be playing, be happy as anything, like a zombie at 3-4 a.m. You're blessed, you love sleep. Nice one. Yeah, you're a lucky man. You're a very lucky man. Yeah, sleep and food was always a bit of an issue with my boy, but yeah, eventually he grew out of it. Oh, I always say it's his mum. It was from his mum, because when she was pregnant, she was up all night, just the same. So she had issues sleeping. Oh, you're a lucky man, my friend. Enjoy. Alright, so gold pulling back. I want it to remain below if it is to continue to the downside. If it does pull back up, well, what it could have done is just pull back into this 4-hour range below, back below the resistance to grab a little bit more liquidity. It's cut through this resistance a bit, which is good, but when we go down to the 4-hour, it's still rejecting it, and the 4-hour holds more a greater precedence, and it's a bit boppy, and there might be something going on with the news. I'm not too sure, but gold is skipping pips left, right, and center at the moment, making things a little bit unpredictable. Yeah, let's wait and see. Week bullish closed, maybe then break. Yeah, that's what I was looking at, but obviously it's all over the shop right now. Mr. James, welcome. James Greenleys.
Hey bro, only two of us.
How are you, brother?
Very well, thanks. How are you?
All good. Good, long time no speak. Been a while.
Very long time. Yeah, very long time. Good to have you back.
Appreciate it. Appreciate the support. Yeah, it's all right. It's a bit of a challenge. Obviously the numbers are quite low, but eventually we'll get back up there. So
I was listening to something the other day though, where everyone who talks about kind of successful ventures just talks about doing the same thing every day, don't they?
Exactly. Repetition, consistency, and repetition. So
yeah,
that's it. Just got to turn up, and eventually something will will sink in. Something will work. So something will click. But, yeah.
What do you do? Are you what's the actual business? Have you got guys you're kind of mentoring as well? Or
just privately at this stage. Yeah, just the guys I've been coaching for quite some time, to be honest. Yeah, most of those guys are actually probably in the chat. So that's it. I do plan to start the Discord, and it's going to be for free. There'll probably be a paid section, but that won't be for a while anyway. I've made a course. It's 110 pages long last time I checked. 70
Yeah,
plus videos as well.
I've seen a little snippet of it because I was with Tony about
Yeah,
6 weeks ago, 8 weeks ago, and he
yeah,
showed me.
he's obviously got a copy. So
Yeah, looks great.
yeah, thank you. It's always a work in progress though, because this new entry took yesterday on stream and today myself during the Asian session, it's not in there. This is something I've been working on just this year, so it's one of those ones where I'll be constantly updating and providing, you know, new versions of it, version 2.0, 3.0, whatever it is. So, but yeah,
Yeah, that GJ cell yesterday looked lovely.
Yeah, pretty much the same thing on gold today. Just here, so yeah, it's just something I picked up on. But I prefer it to happen at the 4-hour levels more than anything else. So far it's worked well.
As in where there's just the top wick on the 4-hour.
Yeah, so at a resistance just straight up and at a support straight down.
Yeah.
On the 4-hour level. So yeah.
And the usual stop, kind of 10-15 pips.
Not really. The stop is usually above a resistance, or well, I have the stop at just above the resistance here, the candle over here to the left today. At that point, so it was quite tight to be honest, but it was about a 14-15 pip stop loss. So
which on gold that counts as a tight stop loss, I think.
It does. It counts as a very tight stop loss on gold because it can easily just flick up and tag you out and then drop. But it was only a small risk. It wasn't it was about a half risk trade. Also because of the time, I wasn't sure. It was a little bit into Asian session. I wasn't sure if the volume would still be there, but it worked nicely. So. How about you? How's the trading going?
Yeah, it's going. Yeah, it's going well. I've kind of been in and out of it a little bit over the last 6 months or so, but back into it properly now. Just with other stuff going on, and
yeah, as you do. Do you want me to pull your face up on the screen? I don't know if you do. I can if you want.
Oh, no, I don't have the YouTube thing on. I've only got the Zoom. Not bothered either way. I just find this is easier, the Zoom.
Yeah, it is. It's much easier.
Typing, I can't be bothered typing back and forth.
Oh, good. So whereabouts in the world are you right now?
I'm in London actually at the moment.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Probably will be for the next. I probably will be for the whole of this summer.
Oh, okay.
And then look to change that up.
Change the scenery. Not into gold anymore, are you?
I've never traded gold. No, I'm not. No longer. No. Can't see myself going back over there. No.
I won't ask why.
Yeah.
Probably best not to.
Well, you're in Australia. You're in Melbourne.
Yeah, back in Melbourne for the time being. The plan is to. I keep saying it, but I'm closer and closer every time I go back overseas to Thailand. I'm closer to actually being there permanently.
Yeah, I almost got the impression slightly from your Instagram that you've moved there.
Not quite. I try to spend as long as I can, but until they kick me out for visa issues and the such. But
3 months you can stay.
Yeah, usually a max of 3. They've become a little bit more strict, but I sort of did a dodgy, and it said my passport was like I tore the passport, so I can't travel with it. So I applied for a new passport with no stamps in it, and had no issues this time. So yeah.
Can we go and stay there for 3 months on British passports?
You can. You what you do is you get a extended tourist visa before you actually go, or from the consulate in wherever it is over your way, and then you just go to a local immigration office when you're there, and you pay like about I think it's about £30, £40, and I'll give you another month. I'll stamp you for another month, so 3 months.
I'm thinking of heading there later this year.
Oh mate, by yourself or accompanied?
Yeah, no, by myself.
Yeah, oh mate.
You'll a couple of friends out.
Just be careful.
Friends out there at the moment.
Oh really?
Yeah. Well, it's kind of classic, isn't it? Everyone, well, I feel like all British people go to Thailand for some point.
Yeah, and Aussies. Actually, Aussies, it's Bali, to be honest.
Oh yeah.
I'm one of the old ones out, but
Have
oddly
you been
enough,
to
I've
Bali?
never. What's that?
Have you been there?
I've never been to Bali. Not sure why, to be honest. I just first time I went to Thailand, I fell in love with it, so I haven't bothered with Bali, and obviously got a little boy now, so.
Is he in Thailand? He's in Thailand, isn't he?
Yeah, he's still there.
Yeah.
He's still there. Gold melting again.
Shame there's not any margin on GJ, because I quite like it. Quite like that 15-minute close. That's
Yeah, to sell it.
Yeah.
Yeah, correct. I mean,
It's just no margin.
that's in a course. That's actually an entry type. However, again, it's just very little margin. You got what?
7 pips.
Yeah,
Yeah.
squeezing a little bit. So it's a little bit too tight. I mean, what's the stop loss? Yeah, he can't get the 1-to-1. Not that I'm concerned about it, but you would have wanted to close with a little bit more margin. It's wrecked it. That previous M30's just pretty much destroyed this range for the time being.
Yeah.
I'd prefer it to come back down to that support now, in all honesty. And what are you trading right now?
Just GJ and GU.
And GU? Oh, really?
Yeah, I've actually kept Joni trading those two pairs pretty much since, well, almost feels like forever. Like since we were at TCG.
Okay. Yep. So you never really bothered with?
I've never bothered with gold. No.
Okay.
I tried it and I just got the ups and downs just scared me. So I said to myself, I'll stick to GJ and GU.
Yeah, it is a different kettle of fish, isn't it? But then again, it gives you some really clean moves. I find it better during the Asian session, to be honest. I mean,
Yeah,
look
and
at
that's
that
the thing.
today.
I always trade London, so
Yeah.
there's not. Am I right in saying there's less volume in gold in London?
I'm not sure, to be honest. I would have thought there'd be more than during the Asian session. However, I don't know. From what I tend to see when I stream and on charts, it doesn't really give that great a deal, that many options during a London session. But,
I've got it up on my watch list, and sometimes I just have a look, and it just looks kind of rangy throughout London. Usually, super small candles.
A lot of the time, what I've found with gold, obviously during the Asian session, or if it's structure-wise bullish, it'll come down to create a low, and it'll make a nice move. London will usually correct some of that move and then consolidate, and the MY will be the continuation of the Asian session move. That's what I've noticed a fair lot of on gold of late. So if you can find something within the mess that usually is London session, it's not easy, but GU is an interesting one.
I like GU. It's just recently there's not been much. As I think you were saying this yesterday, the candles are super small. They look big. Yeah. They look big, and then you measure them, and they're 6 or 7 pips.
Yeah, correct.
It's really strange.
Yeah, the actual ranges are very small. This one looks quite deep, but I think it's all of about 20 pips max. Yeah, literally right on 20.
Yeah, because on GJ that would fit. A range that looked like that would usually be 40 or 50 pips.
Yeah, correct. And yeah, gold as well. More.
And gold, yeah. Or even more on gold, yeah.
It's Franco, just the 15-minute. Yeah, the issue is there's no margin. There's absolutely no margin, and I would not be trusting the current candle as sufficient enough for a stop loss. I mean, if you wanted to, that's a risk if you're willing to take, then go ahead. It does make sense. But again, you're trying to squeeze out what you got 8 pips max basically until by the time you get treated, including spread, you'll have maximum about 8 pips, 7.5. And if you to use the previous candle as a stop loss, you're looking at counting for spread probably about 11-12 pips. So probably not worth it. Not your pair. Yeah, I know, man. Astral Effects. Good to see you, my friend. Welcome down the channel. What, are you looking at anything particular, James, this morning, or?
No. I can see myself not trading today. Just GU, that range of GU
is a mess.
Is a mess, and GJ. Other than those buys from that support, I can't really see or anything else.
Then again on GU, just looking at, as I mentioned earlier when I did the analysis, I just trade it range bound, and right now it's obviously back at the lows in the range. So I feel if it's M30, it's the second 15 minutes though. What I was going to say is I'd like this candle to close strong bullish and then for a resistance form. So similar to what I mentioned before on gold, but the opposite direction. So if this...
So, yeah, go on.
Yeah, this M30 can close, you know, like so. And then maybe the first 15-minute candle of the new M30 can close back a weak bearish candle. And then on the following 15 minutes of the new M30, you can look for your potential buys, breaks above, because you're still going to have the 30-minute on the previous candle closing bullish, strong bullish.
Yeah.
So you're performing a high, low, high, high to that M30 catalyst candle, and you're forming that resistance prior to your entry on the 15-minute.
Yeah,
so
actually,
yeah, that's
actually it's quite a good way of showing that, the way you draw those candles, because then it actually, yeah, you're right. If I saw that on the chart, I would look at that and think, actually, that does look quite nice. Yeah.
Well, because then the M30 is going to end up looking like this, the current M30, if this is to be the case. So it's still going to be a strong candle.
And then it'll be the next one, won't it? That'll start the push and break the high.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, correct. So you got high, low, high, high.
Yeah.
So just break it down like within the 30 minutes. I mean, you can even go on the 5-minute. 5-minute will probably be creating a high, a little bit of a pullback, high, low, and then breaking as well.
And then 2635 is your target.
Yeah, roughly.
Yeah.
The good thing with GU and the USD pet, like the majors, is that you can get some really nice one-to-ones, because obviously a lot of time your stop loss is going to be no more than 10 pips.
Yeah, the stop's always small on those. It's nice.
Yeah, sometimes you're looking at 6-7 pips. So gold still bopping about. See, on gold, this is where that little interruption play could come into effect at some point. What you want to see though is now 15-minute candle closing back bullish. Anywhere now without obviously tapping into the low. So you want it to start, you want at least one candle around this point, maybe a little bit lower down to close back bullish in the 15-minute, followed by an engulfing bearish candle. Sometimes it's the second candle after the pause that will engulf, and then you set your limit order back at the low of the bullish candle, limit sell. That is a very effective entry, really nice entry. So that's what I'll be waiting for if it does eventuate.
And do you need, if that does happen, do you want that bullish candle to touch your horizontal ray, or are you not too bothered about it?
No, the just needs to pause basically, and it needs to be engulfed, and then I need the bearish candle to tap into what will be the horizontal, the bullish candle low.
Yeah.
So it could be the second bearish candle. Following if the first candle engulfs the following candle. Sometimes, like I said, it's the second candle that will engulf that pause, that bullish candle. And then what I want to see is, so once you've got that engulfing candle, I prefer to be tapped in within 2 candles of that engulfing candle. If that makes sense. So it might not necessarily happen on this candle. It may close back a weak bullish candle, and it may not tap in, but it might happen on the second candle after the engulfing candle. After that, I'm not too sure of the actual what the probabilities are, to be honest. I haven't tested it out enough to know. speaking of,
That's what.
Tommy Jordan.
That's what.
Sorry, man. Just got to say, it's
Sorry,
Tommy
no,
Jordan was the one who introduced me to that particular entry.
Oh, was he? Is he
He
here?
is.
Is Tommy? No, he's not.
He's not on the Zoom call, but he's in the chat.
That GJ might look like the candles you've just drawn in 15, 30 minutes if it goes down.
Oh yeah, true.
If it breaks our zone.
Yeah, very true. But the issue again is just there's no margin.
Yeah, no, I'm not won't be taking it. Just it might look like that if it does break that 83 area.
Absolutely correct. I mean, you can almost argue it's if you're using that. No, but you'll be triggered in. You probably could have been almost in a trade actually, but it's not really much of a trend because you want to see it like that's a clean move. You want to see it really make a solid move, like a solid impulse. To me, this is more of a trickle.
Yeah, agreed. Like that GU trade I took yesterday was lovely.
GU?
Yeah, you remember those yesterday morning, that limit order?
Oh, okay, yeah, right on.
From that, yeah. And you just get that push straight away and you're in 6-7 pips of profit within the first 4 or 5 minutes.
Yeah, I love those limit orders.
Rather than it just sitting around at entry.
Alright, so this interesting because on GU just now what you may be getting is the 30-minute closing back bullish. Within this 30-minute candle, the final 15-minute candle could be creating that resistance. So it's almost just a tad ahead of what I was talking about, but if I was to consider an entry, again this candle will have to actually close back weak bearish candle to create that minor resistance. Reason why I want it to create a minor resistance is because if we are to continue bullish, we have no need to if we are to continue bearish, we have no need to break the minor resistance. If we begin to break it, then we're likely going to head up, but it looks like it's popping back up. So again, probably need to wait for at least the first 15-minute candle of the new M30.
Yeah, the only thing I don't like on that as well, if you look at the hourly, how often do you see I'm kind of asking that next hourly to go back to retrace that entire move in one candle?
Yeah, correct. And it's also about to close this hourly candle, so
yeah. I don't mind taking buys after that, but I just don't think we'll see one big bullish hourly candle come next after that.
Coming close to the open as well. Just answer these questions. Geek News, good morning to you. Apologies. EU. I mean, it's very similar to GU. So EU, I mean, these zones are still relevant from yesterday. I don't really need to redraw them in. We're just breaking that support right now. Okay, so I'll quickly do the top-down analysis. The weekly has flipped bearish, so it does have that lower high, lower low. Daily, again, very strong level of support. It's quite evident also on the 4-hour. The structure wise, it's still technically bullish. 4-hour is technically bearish right at that support. Very strong level. I mean, you can draw this all the way across. Yeah, so seeing we're at support, I wouldn't want to sell into support, so exact same as GU, but it's a little bit behind GU because GU is about to close bullish. What I want to see is a bullish candle closure on the M30. If within that closure we can have a little bit of resistance form the 15-minute, and then the following candle, as it creates that lower wick and begins to break the high of your catalyst candle, potentially look for a buy option. I'd definitely be looking to buy it. I'd just be waiting for the right catalyst to do so at this point. Sells, I will not be interested unless it pulls back. Absolutely no interest in selling it. UJ, I'll have a look at UJ shortly. I'll just keep an eye because we're coming to the open. Yeah, all good, man. All good. Really good. Hope you're well as well. Appreciate you for joining once again. So coming to the open, there is absolutely nothing I'm interested in on GJ at the moment. It is right smack bang in that middle of the range. There is, to me, nothing. Absolutely nothing. Gold. Yeah, likewise. Look at that pause on 15 though right now, which would be good. Want this to pop up a little bit, that's better. And then perhaps if the next M15 engulfs this candle, we could potentially look for that limit sell in about 15 minutes from now. So that's probably the closest to an entry. It would be gold in 15 minutes. Just need to wait. GU, wow, not a bad closure.
Yeah, close exactly as you drew.
Yeah. Wanted to make a bit of a low wick though.
Yeah, agreed. Also, just what 4 hours, such a massive bearish candle.
Yeah.
And only an hour left.
See what you mean, but it keeps bouncing off it. But yeah, it is off-putting. It can be off-putting. I definitely see what you're talking about. Also though, the fact that it doesn't really have an upper wick, it's got a tiny one and it's just instantly melting. It does begin to flip. Yeah, I'd write it off just now though. Dropped too much. UJ? Okay, let me have a look at it. Alright. Quickly do some analysis. So weekly strong bullish, actually weak bullish. Current weekly does have a high low to the previous at resistance at a very really solid level of resistance. The daily structure is also bullish, but once again very solid level of resistance. Consolidating at it, so very difficult to. There's no clear direction at all. 4 hour is also bullish. Once again, it's just consolidating. It's really copy price action. Little to absolutely no direction. Makes it very difficult to trade. Yeah, alright, so on the M30, what I want to see is, I mean, you can almost drag this down. It opens up a lot once it pops below 158.75, and at that point there, it's rejecting that higher time frame. It's starting to pop below 4 hour support as well. I feel there could be better options. However, below the current daily previous daily candles low on continuation would also make sense. Seeing we'll have that lower low on the higher time frame. But it is a red hot mess at the moment. It is really choppy. As far as buys, I'd probably look for a closure above the resistance of 150, psychological round number. The M30 structure is bearish. It won't actually flip bullish at that point. However, it'd be breaking above the current daily candles high, which it has no need to do so if it is to continue to the downside. So if it does break above it, close above it, we'll close above that resistance and pop above the high, the current daily candles high. There could be options to potentially look for a buy at that point. But in my opinion, it is just an absolute mess. I'd be very patient with it. Wait for either one price to pop above that 150 or below 150.87 roughly. All right, DJ. So we're waiting on gold. Oh wow. I don't look at gold. Would have almost had a trade at the open.
I was going to say, is that not what you drew?
That's pretty much what I've just explained for the last half an hour. I totally missed it. Apologies. That's almost perfect. You got the weak bullish closure. You would have had a decent stop loss based off the previous M30. Entry would have been below the support. There's your 10 pips. 13, wow. Apologies. Oh well. Never mind. Get distracted. It happens. It happens. All good. Ready. Personally, I've had a trade today, so there's no. I'm not fast either. But some free education nonetheless.
Are you still trading personal account, Justin?
Right now,
Yeah.
I'm actually I've got a funding account.
Oh no.
Do have some personal money, but not much. Very small account when it comes to the cash personal account.
I do think the funding, as long as you pick the right one, they're so good now that almost no point trading with your own money.
Yes and no. You just need to be careful, obviously.
Yeah, that's why I say as long as you pick the right one.
Yeah. But I may start a few more. I might even trade on stream, trade one, a challenge. I'll see. Thinking about it, a bit of pressure, but should be right. So if I stick to my guns and actually execute on trades when I see them.
I reckon that would actually pull in quite a lot of people because.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
To be honest, what's that?
Go on. No, go on, you go.
I was just gonna say the only ones that actually do it are the ones that don't actually have someone on the screen. If you know what I mean, it's just they've got a MetaTrader open, and it's FD mode challenge or whatever it is, and
you're right.
Yeah. Geek newspaper. That would have been the entry. That's what I was talking about. Stop loss probably would have been above the M30. See, what happened was you had obviously back below that resistance. You had that minor pause, which I talked about on GU, and what I wanted to see on GJ, which GJ did do, but obviously had no margin. Could have put stop loss above the M30 as price begun to break with the volume of London Open. As it began to break the low of that minor pause, the bullish minor support on the M15, that was your potential entry. Still could be an entry though. Just need to wait. I'm gonna wait 7.5 minutes to see where this candle closes. All good. Yeah, so I'm just waiting now to see if this candle. I don't want to close where it is right now because that's, yes, it's engulfing, but you need a bit more margin for the new candle to pull back to create its upper wick. So generally speaking, I want it to close probably about 6 plus pips below, just to give the pullback on the new candle a bit more margin to actually create its upper wick. Some decent volume though on gold at the open for a change. Yeah, GU heading down. EU. Wow, EU's melting. Really melting. So is AU. So there's money must be flowing into safe havens, obviously yen, US dollar. If that's the case, you'd think gold would also got strengthen the Dixie, I'm assuming. Yeah, look at that. Wow, that is flying. That would have been an awesome entry on the Dixie. Wow, perfect catalyst. Bullish engulfing on the M15. You closed above a resistance. That's the level I drew in yesterday. Into clean traffic. That would have been a cracking entry if that. But eventuated on gold or GJ, wow, definitely would have been involved. Then again, having said that, I was involved on the gold sell just then, so. Oh, well and good. 5 more minutes to wait and see. So it just depends where this candle closes now on gold and the M15, but on my broker, the low of that bullish candle is 21.92.73, but this candle has to close lower down. And if it does so, then I might set that sell limit order. So that's the potential entry, guys. You need to wait 3.5 minutes. GJ's back at that support, or at least it's at a decent level to start looking for potential trades, which is good. This is better on gold. This is what we want to see. As far as stop loss placement, I'd probably be placing it back above previous M30. The only concern will be, for me, that it could pull back. Seeing it still is session open, it's still the first 30-minute candle of London Open, there is still that volume which could be there, which could pull price back up to retest that zone to grab a bit more liquidity before it heads back down. So it could be a little bit tight, having a stop loss just above the M30. Might want it a little bit higher up, but we'll see. Still need the first confirmation, which at the moment don't quite have. Yeah, this is bopping about all over the shop. The cat on a hot tin roof. Not making things easy. So as far as calcium price action, that would, if this was the M30, it'd be almost a decent buy option. The issue again is stop loss though, because it's left such a long wick down. And the other issue for me would be the fact that the amount of times in the past I've seen when it hasn't quite tapped into that high time frame level, this could just be a pause. You might get triggered into move and then just sinks to eventually tap into the 4-hour support and then bounce. Got caught out once or twice last year on stream, taking trades kind of in the middle of the range without it pulling back to the high time frame level. Yeah, I don't think it's gonna eventuate. Yeah, so it's not valid, guys. Unfortunately, it's closed back. It's not even engulfing, so no entry for me on that little interruption candle entry. GJ at support. So when does the James, when does the clocks go forward for you guys? Is it, I think it's in another week. I think it's the same time, I'm assuming, as what it is here. Ours go back on the 7th, I think it is.
It might be this weekend, is it?
Oh, really? That makes things a lot more easy as far as streaming.
Oh yeah, Sunday 31st of March.
Okay. So it means London Open will be...
So next week, so next week's back to normal for you.
Yeah, yeah, still 1 hour forward to what would be during the winter time here. So April 7th, our clocks go backwards. So it'll be 6 p.m. instead of 7 p.m. As of next week. And the following week will be 5 p.m. for London Open, which is a lot better. That means I can stay on stream a bit longer.
Yeah, so at the moment you're finishing at what, almost 10 o'clock then?
No, to be honest, I'm getting off the stream about usually 7:30, 7:40 my time. Going off to make dinner, and I've had a few sessions the last few evenings, pretty much straight after dinner. So, and then I tend to do the New York little update video as well. So by the time I'm off the computer, it's not until about 10:30, 11 most nights.
I'd forgotten about the just-in dinner indicator.
Yeah, I'm not sure how effective it is these days, to be honest.
It used to be, didn't it? Back in kind of when COVID time, 2020.
Used to miss out all the time, mate. All the time. Just the shit in its ears. And back then I was training my brother's capital too, so I really wanted to impress, but yeah, that happened to be. But I don't think it's effective anymore, to be honest, because when I check the charts out, nothing much seems to happen while I'm off having dinner.
Do you think generally there's less volume now than there was then?
Not sure if there's less volume, but look, I was going to say it probably hasn't been trading as much, but you see these big moves on gold. But perhaps it's just London session at the moment. A lot of the time I find comes to charts and it's stuck in a range during the London session. It doesn't mean there's no volume in it, because obviously gold's made a relatively decent push down, but it's just nothing tends to trend unless there's news about it.
I feel like I'd struggle to find those GJ breakout trades we used to get.
Oh, mate, I haven't taken a breakout for God knows, to be honest.
I wouldn't even consider it anymore. Whereas we used to love it.
Oh, it used to be bread and butter. It was just simple buy stop, sell stop. But
yeah.
Up and up, man. How are you? Hope you're well, brother. Yeah, I remember those days. It used to be as simple as rocking up for the open and setting the buy stop or the sell stop, and there was 10 pips in seconds, and that was it.
Yeah, 8:05. We'd be running with stops at break even.
Yeah. No, I agree. The breakouts don't seem to be there as often these days. But I have a different entry now. If I was to take a breakout, I look for a 1 minute retest.
Oh, do you?
Yeah, I find it's more probable.
With a 30-minute close still at least somewhere close to the zone. Yeah,
correct. And obviously a high time of volume. So obviously I want it to break. The issue is with the 1 minute retest, it could break a little bit too far. That's the only thing. And then you want to get in, you're getting in too late. So I probably wouldn't take that. It's going to come from too far away. But anyway, it's as an example. So that's the first minute, and then obviously looking for, as you're aware, a pullback and continuation. It's almost like a break and retest on the 1 minute.
Yeah.
So it's like a delayed breakout, because it initially will break. Then I'm looking for that 1 minute candle to close back bullish, and then re-enter as it breaks the low for the second time.
It's kind of like that 5 minute type 4 entry we used to get sometimes.
Correct.
But just lower time frame.
Yeah, exactly. And even that's been updated a little bit of late.
I suppose you have to do that. Just the longer you're in the market, the more things change. You just got to keep updating your
exactly. Yeah, because you notice things happening, and a lot of time I was missing some moves because I was waiting for the tap in on the falling candle as per the standard type 4 zone to zone. But what we figured was that sometimes within the 30-minute candle, which actually closes out of that range, so above the zone or whatever, like so.
Okay.
Sometimes within this candle, you get the tap in on the 5 minute, you get the closure on the 5 minute. Obviously above, you're gonna have that. And then within the same 30-minute candle, same as the 1 minute where I just drew up, you have one 5-minute candle closing back bearish, a minimum one, sometimes more, tapping back in. And then the last, let's just say the last 5 minute or last two 5-minute candle, whatever it is, close back bullish, closing the M30 back above. And there's your tap in. It's happened within the catalyst candle, 30-minute candle.
Yeah.
And then new candle, sometimes no lower wick, sometimes small lower wick. Prefer to see a small lower wick, if nothing else. But it doesn't have to tap into that zone. So that's something we've added.
Yeah, I think I prefer the tap in on the candle before.
Oh, okay, the catalyst candle.
Only because then I feel like I'm not. It feels a bit safer. It feels like, well, that's really happened. Like,
yeah, it's broken and it's retested.
Do its thing, yeah.
Geek newspaper. Sorry, bad English. Speak Arabic. I'm from Morocco. All good, man. All good. It's probably, if you don't understand everything I say, it's probably because of my Aussie accent and some of the slang that I use. Apologies, but thank you for joining, and you can probably pick up a fair bit from the drawings as well. So, but if you want, free education, that you're definitely on the right channel. Yeah, I'll be getting into a lot more trades, obviously, probably as of next week, because of the time of day. I'll have more time to sit on the chart. It's gold sell.
You're going to keep it. You're going to keep it 6:45 UK time then. So your timing just changed.
Yeah. Look, I might eventually change that as well to 6:30. I'll see. Yeah, but I'll keep it to 6:45 and probably go. Look, it just depends on market conditions, but probably go to around 9 a.m., 9:15. Sometimes 9:30 if I have nothing to do. Welcome to Morocco. I'm sure it's a very beautiful place. I think my niece actually went there last year. She went around, she went right around the world actually, apart from America. So Africa, Europe, parts of Asia.
On gold, will you only consider buys above your line there?
Look,
I guess will you look at them in that grey zone?
See, the thing is, this grey zone, you could, I mean, it's still a 4-hour level, and that's the only issue. I mean, you're looking at that, it's rejected multiple times, and the current candle, yet again, is rejecting. Has rejected as well. But having said that, not a clean move up, obviously, but this move down is sort of, to me, it sort of opens up this zone a little bit, because if price begins to form support, then there is a good chance it's going to retest the highs, the current daily candle's high. So therefore I would consider it. The issue again on gold though is stop loss. It's going to be more than 40 pips. So that's the killer. But as far as the catalyst, I mean, you got a pretty nice catalyst just here. Again, you've got that resistance, so you've got a bit of consolidation. You got a bullish engulfing. Could be a potential limit buy, and what that will do is that will make your stop loss a bit better, not much though. That's, wow, it's still going to be 30 plus pips.
But if you're waiting for the next 15, can you not have it below this current bullish 15?
You could, but I think that's, yeah, it's a little bit tight.
Because if it's closes bullish, you wouldn't expect the next candle, if it goes and breaks that high, to then break the previous low, would you?
Oh, you would not, no. And if the M30
I see what you mean,
closes,
it just feels tight, doesn't it?
yeah, but if the M30 closes like this, then it's likely, I mean, there is a good chance it could just pulp. Because it grabbed that liquidity from the range below, but again, it hasn't really tapped into much. Yeah, but I feel could get some buys. If I was looking for a limit order, using the 15-minute as a stop loss is going to be a little bit too tight. Oh, it's going to be about 16 pips or so. We'll see, but it's making a move just now anyway. Is there a way? If I'm to enter on above the high using a 15 as a stop loss, you're probably looking at this stage around a 30 pips stop. Three minutes left. I'll wait and see. How's the alley for me? It's pulling back a bit just now, so just need to wait and see how this candle closes. You want it to close strong bullish candle though. I don't want it to close as is. What that does is leave a long wick to the upside, rejecting that wire resistance yet again. I want it to close up near its high because that would suggest it's grabbed liquidity from the downside, and essentially what the new candle should do is just, if anything, a small lower wick and then pop to retest the highs. Or have to wait and see. Just over a minute and 45 seconds left. Nothing on GK, so yeah, gold's the focus. Can you newspaper? Don't know the West. So I'm assuming you've not been. Not West? No. Alright, 30 seconds left. How's this candle going to close? Needs to pop up. And that last 10 seconds needs to pop up. Otherwise, not interested. No, not gonna happen. Because now, to me, it's basically just consolidating again. That rejection of that resistance, leaving that long wick to the upside, to me is very off-putting as far as looking for a buy above a high. And that's just consolidating. German 40 was an indice I was considering trading at one point. Maybe it's something I should look into. Looks to be at possibly all-time highs. Wow, it is. Yeah, tough one, guys. For me, the cleanest or the clearest entry would have been that. Definitely that. Didn't get the confirmation, James. Just a weak closure and more evident on the 30-minute.
I hate that when it looks like it's going to close strong and then leaves that wick at the 15, that top wick.
Pulls all the way back. Yeah, so for me it's not a solid enough confirmation, so no entry. Kind of like GJ, I like it's popped down into that 4 hour. Yeah.
I was trying to see if there was enough margin for sell. The 5 minute just looks so nice. You can get a 5 minute close below kind of 770, but it's just no margin again.
Yeah, there's none. But what I mentioned before on GU, I mean, it could eventuate on GJ. There's 27 minutes to wait for it, but once again, exact same thing I'll be looking for. Strong bullish closure. Maybe the second 15 minute is a weak bearish candle, bringing that minor resistance, and then the new candle creates a high, low, high, high. The issue is, I think it's the 4 hour closure. It is. Oh, yeah, having said that, if the 4 hour, the new candle creates a decent little wick first, and begins to flip, that could trigger a win. That could be an option. But yeah, I prefer it to actually tap into that 4 hour zone and bounce off that on the new 4 hour. If the new 4 hour pull down to actually break the low of the current candle, if this candle doesn't tap in the next 30 minutes, then what it might do is consolidate between current support and the 4 hour support, and as soon as it begins to pop back above it, there's your entry above that 198.30 roughly. That's what I'm probably looking at on GJ as far as the buys. As far as sells, what would I want? I probably want a just simple pullback rejection. That's, I mean, if that candle wasn't there, that's a really nice evening star on the 4 hour. It's broken the doji candle low and it's just melting. Now for this, the only other sell would probably be a limit sell at the low of the bullish candle. Seeing it's actually cut through to support just now, sort of opens it up, gives you a little bit more margin. But I think it's just picking at straws at the moment. I don't see anything. Gold. It's, yeah, wait and see on the 4 hour, see where that closes. Again, that drop on that previous candle sort of opens up this area a little bit, so maybe if the new 4 hour opens up, creates a lower wick, get a little bit of minor resistance form at these highs yet again, and you start popping above it, then likely what it's going to do is retest the current daily candle's high. If there's enough margin, that could be a potential option. Otherwise, again, sells from this level will still make sense, but you just need rejection. You need, similar to what I mentioned before, if you get a minor support form, price pop a lot, that could be your chance to sell. But yeah, I think that's it. I'm gonna wrap it up because I'm not gonna get anything. That, and of course gold's just gonna fly at the moment. Yeah, not comfortable in that. All good. Alrighty. Well, yeah, so it won't be on tomorrow, obviously, Good Friday. So, yeah, won't be on over Easter. Won't be on Monday as well, obviously, again, bank holiday. So, yeah, that's the analysis moving forward on both gold and GJ. Once again, thank you everyone for joining. James, thank you for hopping up. Good to chat.
Cheers, bro. Thanks for having me.
No, pleasure. Hopefully catch you on Tuesday. Enjoy Easter.
Yeah, see you next week for sure.
Yeah, have a good weekend, man. And to the rest of you guys, hit the like button way up, and keep an eye out for my update later on. And I'll catch you next week. Stay safe, enjoy your Easter. If you do celebrate, take care. Cheers guys, bye for now.
Cheers, bye.
See you, mate.